Welcome back. I'm the Watch Nerd. On this video, this is the Vegas vlog part one. I was in Vegas for 2 days. I'm actually a big hockey fan. Some of my longtime viewers will know. So here's, as you can see, we're going to Las Vegas. I actually filmed the takeoff here, and I quickly want to share with you what I did for the first day. So today we did basically every brand except for Rolex and Patek Philippe, which we will cover tomorrow. So I did visit Cartier, of Lange Söhne. You'll see Vacheron, and you will see. I did IWC, but there was nothing incredible. And of course, you can go into any IWC store and get anything. So I didn't film in that one. Bulgari is another brand. I believe, and Breguet. But I also didn't film in a Breguet because you can pretty much see anything you want. So that's all the brands I am going to cover today. This Cartier store is one of the best selling ones in the country. And I talked to the guy about it because he had every watch imaginable that from Cartier. And they had the Santos in white dial, which can be arguably, we'll say, is the hottest watch from Cartier. They're actually trading for a premium in some cases. Now, I will say in some cases because they definitely, Cartier, they don't, I should say, hold back on any models, or they have a faster production, we'll say, than other brands. They told me this was the manager actually told me at Cartier that they are three times, so they have three shifts during COVID to produce watches. They are definitely not holding back. With other brands, there has been rumors. Patek Philippe, I think, are pretty much they purposely only make a certain amount of watches. They don't go over like 30%. The I should say the CEO, the president of Patek Philippe, says only 30% will be steel, and certain percent, of course, will be Nautilus. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. But with the Rolex, I don't think that's the case. I think that they're trying to produce as much as they can, just because more people want to buy a Rolex than Cartier. Sadly, that is the truth. I mean, they do trade for premiums, a lot of these watches, but I will never, ever recommend you to pay for a premium in any brand. But if you have to, I would say Rolex or Patek. Never trade for a premium for a Cartier piece. You will see a limited edition Santos, and let's go into the footage here. So of course this is we're gonna go straight into Cartier. So actually, really quick, in the airport, there's a bunch of Rolex signs. I thought that was kind of funny because there's no actual Rolex store. This is in the Vegas airport. And then actually, I did film. You could pause any of these, but this is the Lange Söhne, and we're going to talk about my personal favorite piece. There are so many references, so many models that you can actually look at. You can get any of these if you walk into an Lange store, but that one in the middle there, and we'll cover it actually later. It is absolutely beautiful, that piece. That piece is the first digital clock. There's actually a lot of history. It is in that opera house still, with the whole story. A beautiful video from Watchfinder actually talked about it. The shots were really good. Great channel too. And the story was there was minute repeaters going off during the opera, and the king was pretty grumpy about it. So he commissioned a clock to be on the wall, and the clock read like we would see a digital watch nowadays. When you look at the oven, that was the first clock. He did tell me, the manager from Cartier actually took me through each store, which he is not in charge of. He's only in charge of the store, but they're all connected. I stayed at the Palazzo, and there's a shopping center on the bottom. So he was very, very nice at this place. So uh, this whole story was only 5 minutes. It actually turned, and maybe not to use the cogs as much, and but it was still pretty advanced for the time. It was pretty incredible story, and that being added on top was pretty cool. I did not know that. So the last thing with Alanga is that their production actually was cut back to 3,500 pieces, and you cannot get their sports model in stainless steel. I am not 1,000% about this brand, so I don't know all the references. A lot of you Alanga, uh, of course, enthusiasts will know much more about the brand about me than I do. I love Rolex and a few other brands, but this one I'm definitely not up to date on all the references. So I would love to hear what you think about my choice. That would definitely be my choice there in the middle, though. Beautiful, beautiful piece. What would yours be from the brand? I would love to hear it down in the comments. But we have plenty of more brands to get to. So this is Cartier, as I promised. It actually wasn't the first brand, but we got there. And he pulled out this limited edition Santos. And I do apologize. This is the only picture I have. The showcase was absolutely full. Everything you can ask for, he had there. He said he can order even the blue Santos. I prefer the white though. I think it's a very cool watch in 40 millimeters, but this one even offers more, in my opinion. So this is you could see the Santos in the, I should say the white dial in the background. This is a Santos. I believe he said it was a white gold bezel, if I'm not mistaken, or certain bezel. I do not remember. I am very sorry. And it was 1,000 more. It was around 8,100, 8,000 and of course gold. It's a different story. Of course, Cartier they charge a lot more for gold. And I did ask if it comes on a bracelet. There is no bracelet involved, but it is salmon dial, as you can see. This rose dial actually, it's very beautiful. The details are absolutely amazing on this piece, and it's only 250. And I thought to myself, wow, if they can offer a piece, limited edition, of course, with very cool specifications, of course, it is not like a Rolex movement. It is not like what you get from higher brands, but it's also $8,100. And I thought about it, and why do I love Rolex? Why do I love Patek, not as much as Rolex. Rolex is one of my favorite brands of all time, and I will stay that way for a very long time. And I thought about it. I really did think about it. And I have to tell you, it is because of the care and how much they care about their product line. Rolex will never, so far as I've seen, launch a limited edition, and I don't think they will do it in the future. Maybe when they reach 1,000 years old or something crazy like that. If they do, of course. If we don't, I should say the whole world ends by then. But even probably then, they won't even release a limited edition. What Rolex will do is Rolex will release something. If they don't like it, they'll take it down. They don't care if the public whatever, blah blah blah. If they don't like it, like the Day Date 2 is a good, I should say, a good comparison with why Rolex didn't like it. The public didn't care about the Day Date 2 and how it was different proportions, but Rolex did. Rolex made it 40 millimeters. So that just shows you it's what Rolex wants, right? If Rolex doesn't want to change the Explorer 2, the Explorer 2 isn't going to be changed. They're not going to release a limited edition, and that's coming back to Cartier. So that is the sad thing. And I asked about the crash, and it is also only limited. So they make these beautiful pieces all the time, but they make probably 10 of them, or in major cases, 250, like you see here. So that covers Cartier. If you have any questions, I will, of course, answer you about the brand because I really haven't covered a lot of Cartier on this channel. Bulgari, we're not going to stay here a long time, but they do make that. It's a pretty cool men's watch, and here it is. I think he said 17,000 on it. And he says he asked me. I was actually at the Lange because they're right next door, and he says, "What is the thinnest watch in the world?" And I right away said, "Well, which company, of course, makes it?" I said Piaget. I said Piaget makes the thinnest watch and the thinnest watch movement in the world. He looked me straight in the eyes. He says, "You're absolutely wrong. That is false. So we go over and he shows me this watch. He didn't actually pull it out. We were going pretty fast. And I didn't ask to see it because I've seen side shots of this watch. And I said, okay, well, I didn't want to be rude to the person and pull out my phone and look up the thinnest watch in the world, right? Because he is a sales guy. Well, he was actually the manager, so he was a manager. Very, very nice guy. Really, really super nice. We talked for, I think an hour or 2 hours in the shop going through everything. Um, Great stuff. He taught me a lot of things, and this is nothing against him. But this piece is not the thinnest watch in the world, period. Piaget makes a thinner watch. This is at 4.05 millimeters thick. Piaget makes a 3.95 millimeter thick piece because they actually put the movement with the watch face and it made it even smaller. So it is kind of funny that that happened, but there are misconceptions, and Piaget is the king of the thinnest watch, period. And I knew I wasn't mistaken, but it was kind of a funny interaction. Let's move on to Vacheron. So this is a crazy woman's piece, of course, and this is not when we think of Vacheron. This is what we think of Vacheron, a very slim, beautiful gold, of course, piece. And I asked him, I said, what is the entry level of Vacheron? Because it is part of the Holy Trinity that is the watch. Typically, though, Vacheron is the third of the Holy Trinity, is the runt of the group. Because normally, no, I guess if you ask a lot of watch collectors, they'll go Patek Philippe number one, then AP, then Vacheron, and it's not by a slim margin with Vacheron. I'm sorry for the Vacheron lovers. I love Vacheron. I think it's fantastic. It is a shame though you can get if you really want it in overseas. I think you can get it at retail. That's just what I believe and I think, and I really do think you can get it at list. It is not so crazy. I walked in, we'll see it. I don't want to spoil too much, but next vlog, I did walk into Patek and Rolex, and what I got from Patek is years, they told me, for any Nautilus, even the ones that are not hype, just that sports look, you're on the list for years, and you have to be a Patek client. You already have to spend in the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to get even considered to be on the list. And that's what they told me at Patek, the sales girl at one of the Patek. But we're not there yet. Let's just keep with Vacheron really quick. They are a fantastic brand. I think if you don't want to pay over retail, you want a great watch, you can try to find these Vacheron Constantins. Beautiful Geneva seal, a bunch of stuff. Their movements are just incredible. They do go into the upper level, so you do have to pay for them. But they are absolutely fantastic. So this is it. I'm done for the vlog. I wish I could go more into references. I did want to keep it under that 20-15 minute mark for you. So I would love to know all your comments down below. If you do want the Chanel chain giveaway, there's the 4 steps in the description below. Thank you, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a fantastic day.